Hi, I'm Mark Robson. I'm the author of 3 different series: Darkweaver Legacy, the Imperial Trilogy, and the Dragon Orb Quartet, and now new upcoming series starting with the Devil's Triangle, which will be a trilogy of Bermuda Triangle thrillers. Well, the Devil's Triangle is an old name for the Bermuda Triangle, and when I was looking at what I was going to write next, I suddenly realised that nobody had done anything much in fiction with the Bermuda Triangle for a very long time, and I thought it'd be fun to write an action adventure with the Bermuda Triangle as the central mystery, if you like, for the story. So, but I tried to put a very different spin on it, whilst taking in all the original legends and things that people have supposedly noted out there in terms of anomalies. So I really want to just make it an action-adventure series that perhaps sort of explains a little bit about the history behind the Bermuda Triangle whilst enjoying a real romp of an adventure at the same time. Although I've used parallel worlds before, I've never done it in quite this way, because the world that I'm using is our world, but as it might have been had the KT event not happened, that is the asteroid that supposedly wiped out the dinosaurs. And so I very much want to explore what the world might have been like if we still had dinosaurs today. How would they have evolved? What would they have achieved in terms of, progression? And would they have actually developed their own technology eventually in the way that mankind has? Loads of specific research, actually. I did actually go out to Florida, because obviously the triangles of the corners of the triangle bounce off not only Bermuda but Miami and Puerto Rico, and I wanted to set my story in Florida, and so I went down to the Florida Keys and I spent some days there interviewing all sorts of different people, everyone from real estate agents through to people who sold boats, to local press, the coast guards, the military, the local law enforcement agencies, marine biology labs, all sorts of different things that would potentially tie in with the story. And aside from that, obviously I read loads of books about the Bermuda Triangle, got into all the mysteries. It's definitely one of those things where the more you know about the mystery, perhaps the less mystery there is in it. So you have to be a little bit careful not to go too far. But no, I did do a huge amount of specific research for it, and some of the science behind what I've done in the stories was quite interesting to try and figure out as well. Well, part of giving them characteristics was to allow there to be some contact between worlds, and there is a very documented evidence to support the fact that certain types of twins do have this strange sort of telepathic bond. Normally it fades by the age of about 7 or 8, but in the story, obviously the children in the story are 14, so perhaps I'm stretching the bounds of that a little bit. But the idea of them being able to sense each other's emotions or pain and things like that is not actually that unusual, and it has actually been documented. So I love the whole idea of there being, the potential for telepathic ability, and the idea that one can know that the other person is still alive and potentially know that something good or bad is happening to them, I just think is great. It gives us that contact between worlds that makes that sort of tension and bond between the characters, even though they're literally worlds apart, still very real. Well, the Devil's Triangle, it's the phenomenon that I actually create in the Devil's Triangle is duplicated on the other side of the world. If you read books by Charles Berlitz, he wrote another book called The Dragon's Triangle, which is set actually off the coast of Japan, and it's almost an identical sort of area, if you like, of mysteries with things disappearing and strange events. So what I'm going to do is take in legends from around the world as the series progresses, and say, well, the event that's happening in the Bermuda Triangle is just a concentrated event that's actually happening more dispersed over water in other parts of the world. And so we'll see other mysteries start to come in with perhaps Amelia Earhart and perhaps Glenn Miller or Lord Lucan, or all sorts of people that you may suddenly all these different possibilities crop up, and I would love to explore the ideas behind some of these other mysteries. So it's a difficult one, because I've flown through the Bermuda Triangle many times as a pilot when I was in the Air Force, and I never actually saw anything unusual while I was out there or experienced any unusual phenomenon. But that's not to say that there haven't been unusual events out there.